Users wondering about a third-person HUD.
Yeah, there's not going to be.
The only third-person HUD would be looking back at your guy and seeing some HUD being projected, like I said, in the Iron Man style. But that's not useful for you. There won't be. You can't go to a chase view and have all that extra peripheral vision and have all the same HUD information. I mean, that's kind of immersion breaking. So when we go to a chase view, you go to a view that would be like a chase planes view versus. So I don't know if that was someone that wanted to have the third-person HUD or not have a third-person HUD, but we won't have a third-person HUD in the in the tradition of a kind of a more sort of arcadey shooter up setup.
Let's see. Any more HUD questions, folks? Will there be electronic warfare that specifically targets other users' HUDs? That's a good question.
There's definitely going to be electronic warfare. I mean, that's already designed in.
So there's the idea of EMP. There's your radar. We have a whole set of the radars themselves. There's multiple kinds of signatures you look for. You can look for heat. You can look for reflective signature, electromagnetic signature. And there will be different things that you can do to counter them or shield against them or protect them. How well you can track those depends on how quickly a missile can lock or all the above. So if you're running a stealth ship, you may be almost impossible to target with a missile. You may have to take out with your guns and get on their tail. So that's all adds into the idea of a lot of sort of rock paper scissors give and take in the space combat.
I think they're imagining some kind of electronic pulse missile I fire, and it just knocks out your HUD for 30 seconds.
Yeah, 100%. That's basically like we already have them in our specs. So we have EMP mines. I think we have EMP missiles.
We have energy draining weapons and
energy
draining
weapons. So we have stuff that would basically affect you. I mean, that's the beauty of having a procedural system. Like, you could overload someone with too much heat, which could fry their systems. You could overload them with a big EMP pulse, bring down their electronics. All our stuff works in that, like, if we take away power or we, do something like that, all the systems would just go out automatically. That's how it would work. So we probably have to like shutdown states or whatever animations.
But available right now, so get them quickly.
Ready to crash the website again.
Yes, let's see if the website can stay up through this one.
Hey, we checked with.
I guess Ben did.
Yeah, I think Ben was on. So Ben, we weren't meant to say that because
the website crashed.
Well, we may have just crashed website again. So far, so good.
So where are we at with Dan? Because I think we're coming up to that section, right? Right near the end.
Can I have the thumb drive?
So so basically, I can't plug it into the live system, right?
Okay, well the addresses are sold out, so I guess we.
Oh, sold out again.
Well, they were sold out. They were sold out before you made the announcement, but.
Yeah, such a tease, Ben.
Yeah.
That's not very nice.
I blame Eric. There will be another 11 addresses later, not during the stream.
So watch for that if you really, really want one. Let's go back to HUD questions. Will the HUD tie into the organization system for organizing your squadron, interacting with your group members?
Well, definitely like
HUD will tie in, and the displays will tie into the organization stuff, which is essentially how we're managing your friends and who you talk to. So, I guess we in the game look at the organization system as sort of channels, essentially. So, you can have your channel for this guild or this channel for this friends list or whatever, and that will all be accessible via the HUD, the display systems, when you're outside your ship, from your Moby glass, and so on.
Let's see. HUD questions, folks. Let's see. Can we expect random failure of systems?
I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, things might wear out over time, but that's sort of reflected as that's sort of a damage failure if it's just worn out. I don't think random.
Yeah, I don't think we've got the idea that like you get. Well, I mean, we definitely have the red ring of death, right? So if you overheat your system, it'll take it down. But I don't think we have like a random dice roll, roll, and if you're, you go snake eyes, your ship's HUD goes down or anything.
There's players wondering about color blindness and cuts.
Yeah, so that's one of the things I addressed in sort of like the color customization. Is that some people, there's a lot more people that are color efficient than you might think. The primary one is between the colors red and green, at least differentiating between those colors. So, and also some people might have trouble reading red elements on a black background. So the thing I talked about with the critical alert that's red, it's by default in red, but that's customizable. So you can assign a different color to it. But for the most part, like the HUD is actually like pretty uniform in color.
Wondering about customizable displays in the Hornet, what they can display on them.
So in the Hornet, like some of the displays, there's the physical displays in the Hornet, and they display information too. But the idea is that you can take information on those physical displays in the Hornet and project it onto your HUD. So things like some of the different displays will display different categories of information. So, for example, like one category is your weapon systems and your ship systems. But you can actually take whatever is on those Hornet screens and have it mapped to your HUD. And then you can actually have tabs in your HUD that you can cycle through to pop out different information screens, which I think was shown in the preview, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Preview, but that's definitely part of the design. You should be you can set this is the weapons display, this is the ship status display, and you should be able to pull them up and transfer them to your HUD and put the monitors away. That's kind of the idea. And that's generally the idea of all the ships. I think the Hornet's probably got the most displays in it because, again, it's a dedicated dogfighting military ship. Whereas something like, say, even the 300i or the Constellation is not quite the same. So it's more about, okay, well, I'll pull it up on my HUD or I'll put it down on my one display, but it's not so focused on having so many displays giving you so much information at one time, because it's really just a sort of matter of what roles you'll use it for.
Wondering if the HUD can
be upgraded like a ship component.
So most definitely, that's part of the design right there. We're going to be able to upgrade it. So like
just general things like at the lowest level, like targeting computer, you can maybe only target one target at a time. You get the upgrade, you could have 2 or 3 or 4 targets, simultaneous targeting, simultaneous locking, and the same on the HUDs. So we're going to allow you to have upgrades on the HUDs that maybe give you more information or a different kind of information. So all our items, including sort of the internal ones like the avionics ones, all generally are designed to have multiple levels to them. So maybe a more advanced one would allow a higher level of customization than the basic one would.
Question: Are you intending the HUD to make up for visibility issues in some of the ships, or is that something that'll be addressed in the future?
That's probably related to the Hornet canopy and the feeling like the struts of the canopy are too big. So we may do a little bit of work on. What's that?
There's the Freelancer, has the thing in the middle. They have something about it.
And I'm just saying, if people go back to last year and they look at the hey, let's make this a big bubble canopy so you have better visibility, everyone wanted to lynch poor Jim Martin, who was the conceptual designer, and us for doing it. And so we changed it back to the concept art, and now there's massive threads bitching that there's no visibility. But I'm just saying. Can never win in that situation. But But on a dogfighting one, it's more important than, say, something like the Freelancer, which is less focused on dogfighting. But there's a dynamic look system that I talked about in the beginning of this live stream that we haven't shown yet. That's still it's part of this unified first look. But essentially, the idea behind it is that when you're in the cockpit, just like in real life, your focus is dynamically changing. So if I'm looking at something outside the cockpit, say I'm not looking like down in my close proximity, but outside, say, a ship I'm trying to trail, what happens is the field of view will narrow down and my focus will sort of basically be shifted in that direction. So essentially what will happen is, or what right now, because we have a very wide field of view right now, because it's sort of basically trying to be wide so you can look down and see your legs in the cockpit and generally the cockpit and then look up. But if you're actually chasing a ship and focusing on them, you're just by human nature, you just generally tend to tunnel vision. And so we're going to dynamically do that. As you look around, depending on what you're focusing on, we're actually going to be casting a ray out from the eye and seeing what you're focusing on, and we're going to be changing the field of view. So if you're focusing and looking at something outside your cockpit will probably go more out of focus and your field of view will narrow. When you come back down to look inside your cockpit, it will be a wider field of view, and things outside will be out of focus, but things inside will be. And that's sort of a dynamic look system, and I think that will help with some of the visibility issues. Obviously, a HUD is there to give you sort of increased situational awareness, and obviously it uses part of that. And then again, like I said, there will be some ships that some work, like the Hornet canopy will probably do a bit of work on to reduce the size of the struts. But I think when it's all put together, it will all feel pretty awesome and pretty immersive.
Be patient, everybody. People are wondering if they can upgrade their HUD from one ship to another. So if they like the 300i HUD, can they port it over to the Hornet or vice versa?
That's a good question. We sort of we talked about making them ship specific. I mean, the other option would be HUDs could be like manufacturer specific. There's the equivalent of GE makes this HUD and Samsung makes this HUD kind of thing. So we haven't really decided that. So I don't know. I'm not sure you can take your Anvil Hornet HUD and plug it into the 300i, because there's some specific stuff for the Hornet HUD that is for the Hornet versus the 300i. But we may have some more sort of generic manufacturers that is maybe a more consistent interface across the ships. The system will definitely handle it. It's just a matter of because the HUD and the information display is all handled in vehicle items, and they completely they're not locked to the ship. So just the same way, like if you're in the hangar, you can move guns back and forth. Well, basically everything: thrusters, any avionics package, heat coolers, batteries, power plants. All of that are essentially items that will dynamically swap, and you can plug into different ships. Now, some ships won't accept a certain kind of item or whatever, but generally there's nothing in the system that is like hard coded to one specific ship. It's very data driven.
All right. Let's see. One user would like to know what your favorite ship is, Chris.
Well, it would probably be the Constellation. And I'm working very hard right now, actually, to get the instance physics working, which we have a prototype of, whereby you're flying the ship around, and all that works perfectly in its own physical world, but you're in another physical world, i.e. the global space, and that's all working. Then that's the awesome in the ship dogfighting, getting in the gunner's turret, fighting while someone else is flying it, while someone's trying to take you out in their Hornet or 300i or whatever. So I would say the Constellation's kind of my favorite, just because it gives you that promise. It's like an experience that I haven't seen at that level of fidelity in the game. And then I think probably my second favorite is the Hornet. I mean, I really like the Hornet. It feels solid and like a great sort of military dogfighter, and some of the stuff, some of the tweaks and upgrades we've done are really nice for it. And so I'm just looking forward to seeing all these things that we're sort of, I don't know, like 70-80% of the way there all come together. So like of all the fidelity and the touches, and have have a full-on dogfight without going, oh, there's a graphical glitch here, or oh, there's a crash here, because my sense is it's just going to feel really like good and solid and fun.
Is there someone who wants to know if the cheaper subs will
I've advertised myself.
Probably not.
Let's see. Can the dynamic field of view be turned off?
We'll probably allow that to be turned off. I mean, it's just one of those things we won't force you to do it, but that'll be sort of the one that would be
Default one.
Let's see. When are we going to hear more about the Origin 890? That's coming up.
Yeah.
I would say next year when we'll show you what it looks like. So we gotta save some stuff for next year. It's like we gotta pace ourselves here.
Yeah, you have to remember you're just unlocking these ships now, and now they go to design and then art, and you'll follow the process. You'll
See them as they're developed.
Bring Batman to talk about this.
Oh, go on. You can ask that question. I was going
to say that
I think we were going to show a little bit of fun thing that we've got playing around. We use it internally for like our balancing and testing, and this is something that Eric hinted at that we're going to put in the hangar, not tomorrow, but hopefully by the end of the year, so people can have some fun. So I haven't actually. I can see this. I think you'll be in the shot if you sit by Brennan. So we see it all upstairs, but we don't have a way of actually demoing it live because of the way we're set up here. So you're on the mic.
Yep,
but this is, you just captured this from your machine upstairs, right?
Yes,
so we
just
thought
now.
this would be kind of fun. All right. So we're gonna play this. You're gonna talk us through it. How does this work?
Sure, absolutely.
He can talk through while you
all
play
right.
it.
Go ahead, run the video. So how it's set up here is we have the Gatling gun that's hooked up onto the Hornet that we're setting up for Dogfight V1. You can see the scale of the thing is just massive. So we got our test weapon mount here. So I'm getting into the chair right now where you can actually just interact with it. It's going to swivel out for you and you can actually jump in. It's going to pull you back in. And this whole thing is now like a whole firing range for you guys. So we just set this up so you can actually shoot at all these different targets. So a lot of these are all set up thanks to Forrest as well and Zane for these guys actually setting this target up real fast for us. So I got the Gatling gun, but also the best part about this whole thing is with the stuff that we have in the hangar, that whole holo table. You can actually swap out the guns. So here, check this out. So if you guys are all familiar with the holo table, you can actually pull in the weapon mount itself, and then go over to the weapons table over here. I'm going to pull over one of the other, actually the laser repeater, and I'll plug that in. And then you can see it's actually swapped the actual mount and the weapon itself on the mount. And then that'll completely switch out the actual weapon that's available. And now you can actually shoot that one too. So it completely changes the effect, changes everything. So it's just demoing off exactly like what the weapons are going to be capable. And I was using this test platform actually to test out like the Hornet destructibility. And of course, totally fixed up yet, but at least from here you can actually test out all the different weapons that we're actually going to be pumping out for Dogfight. So thanks a lot, Zane. Thanks a lot, Forrest, for rapidly helping us out with this.
Cool. Well, that's so we're gonna get you guys a weapon test platform. We may even do a thruster firing thing. And we may have a few more surprises for the firing range stuff that we're thinking about, but we won't quite do that yet. So we'll let you. So basically, even if you're not getting Dogfight in the next few weeks, you can blow things up.
Exactly.
And it's kind of cool. So Who's what?
Skype had stopped recording.
But we're good here, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
the
still
Skype's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. Okay, right.
Perfect.
So anyway, yeah. So I hope you like that. So I guess does should we want to take a couple of questions for Dan on the firing thing?
Sure,
Why not? If
go
we
ahead.
can.
Yeah, if anybody has questions.
About the firing range, ask him in the chat room.
So of course, also with the firing range, like that was just a basic mock-up.
What I wanted to do later on is like have it so that like different targets would pop up, and then you would actually have to aim and shoot at those different ones. So that was just a quick mock-up of what we currently had.
Question, will there be a
Railgun.
Well, yeah, no, there will be a railgun. I mean, that's actually one of the gun types that we have. I'm not sure there's going to be a railgun in the next week or so. I mean, generally our big railguns are all big cap ship stuff.
Yeah.
So you won't be able to mount that in your hangar, else you blow your hangar out.
Right.
I have a question.
wondering about using their
Handheld weapons in the firing range.
Well, that's also something.
We're not ready to show you that, but we're actually making really good progress on that stuff. And so we'll have a future update on that. But yeah, I mean, we're that stuff's actually quite easy because you got a lot of that out of the box, and we're actually doing some really cool additional stuff for 0G and a bunch of other stuff. But that's a kind of future update. But that was when I was saying at the top of the live stream that because we've had such great funding, I've been able to go wider than I thought we would do sooner. So we're going to be able to be delivering stuff for people to play around and enjoy for the next year.
And weapons. Crossbow.
Yes, crossbow we're doing with
crossbow. Oh, my stream is weak.
All right. Weapons testing. Will there be unlimited ammo for the ballistics weapons in the testing range? People are already worried about
Having to pay for it.
No, we're not that. We're not that cruel. No, I think you would. Although another thing that we haven't talked about, but there's ammo boxes. So like basically everything's so like ballistic weapons have hard ammunition and they have limited amounts of ammunition. Energy weapons are different. They draw from the power, so they basically have unlimited ammunition, but they can overheat, and there's some other issues that go with those. And ballistic ammunition has a better ability to penetrate shields than say energy weapons do. So there's give and take, but the system is actually the Gatling gun as an example. That's actually got a ammo case on it that has a certain amount, and we will have gameplay in the game where like on the like on a bigger cap ship or something, you will actually have to go and
retrieve it from your storage and then actually load it into the actual ammo container. Yeah. And even the weapons test platform completely is set up to automatically kind of handle that with the ammo boxes that are currently on it, because there's a secondary ammo box that's attached to the weapon mount already that you have to actually, currently we have it set up so that you have to manually just press a button and then it'll load the next ammo box for you. But for the unlimited ammo bit, we'll definitely probably make that available for you guys. As well with the weapon test platform, we have it respecting all the pipe systems. So the idea is so that you can actually test it out versus like different reactors, different different coolers, and all basically testing out all those different weapons and how they would actually affect your different pipe systems. So as soon as we get all that displays up and running with Brendan as well as Zane, so we're actually going to be able to display all that stuff for you guys. So then that way you guys can actually like theory craft on to what weapon and what coolers and everything can actually be more or less effective, and then you guys can have fun with that.
Great. Any other ammo or weapons range questions, folks? Can we test the tractor beam?
Not yet.
Not yet.
So I'm actually not sure we've coded the tractor beam yet. Actually,
No, I don't think so.
I mean, it's not particularly difficult to code, but I don't think we've done the effect for the tractor beam or coded it. But that will be happening. I mean, the whole mining side of things is something that that's a whole gameplay mechanic that we've got a pretty good idea of what to do, but we've got to actually do the implementation of it. But I think it'll be kind of cool.
So as soon as that weapon comes online, we could attach it to the weapon platform.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean that's the nice thing, right? Is the nice thing about having the weapon platform there is you will be able to like play around with some of the weapons and swap them out, and then obviously, and then just to give everyone a heads up, the way that we're thinking about the dogfight is that your hangar is your base for the dogfight, and that's where you basically specify the loadout of what you want on your ship before you're going to fly in the dogfight.
Exactly.
And then you climb into your ship and you sort of turn simulation mode on, and the outside of the hangar sort of disappears, and now you're in space and you're flying around. And we got some cool stuff that we're going to show for the space stuff, but not quite yet because we've got a bunch of little graphical things that we want to make perfect. But I'm hoping in the next before the end of the year, we'll have actually some like pretty cool stuff to show. Definitely got some. I mean, like a lot of the stuff's all there, but it's a matter of like getting the final visual of like we got some really great explosion tech, we got some great shield tech, nebula tech, asteroids. So we're it's hopefully you guys are gonna like it. It's gonna be pretty cool. Is that I think we're kind of at our end now, right? 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
We got an
the
explosion.
live stream.
What, explode
How does
me?
it feel a year later after that crazy 24-hour live stream?
Can you sum up the year of Starcitizen?
Amazing would be the one word. No, I mean if you think about it, like this time last year, I think we were at 6.8 million. I think with the live stream ended at on the morning of the 19th, I believe it's 6.2, and then there was another 600,000 over like the week or so afterwards because there was Thanksgiving and of course the website crashed, so we gave everyone some grace period so we could clean it all up because the old system we had was not particularly well designed for the level of support that we were enjoying, which was pretty awesome. So yeah, I mean it's amazing. I mean like what I don't even know where we're at now. 32 and
We were at past 9.
so okay, so basically 32 and a half. So yeah, that's crazy, right? So that's 25, almost 26 million dollars.
Almost 1.5 in the last day.
Yeah, so thank you all. It's amazing. I mean, and it's not it's not the end of the ride because we're kind of just beginning. So I have to say that for me, this process as you're doing it and involving everyone and sharing it and showing it, I think one of the reasons why we're at the level we are and everyone's still so enthusiastic is you don't feel like this isn't like something that's finite that you're buying. You're just going in and buying like a $50 or $60 game and that's it, and it's an experience you're going to play for a week or so. It sort of feels like it's a world that you're going to go and spend many years in, and I think that, or at least I feel like a lot of you out there are feeling like it's great fun to be involved in it this early, to sort of have your voices heard, see how it's happening, and feel like you're part of the team. And we certainly on our side like it on our, because we sort of, it's great to have this many people be into it so early, but also just from the feedback side point. I mean, it's great for us to do stuff and see what people like, what people don't like, what works, what doesn't. I mean, definitely the game design has evolved based on the community. I mean, I keep talking about it, but there's lots of extra things that I didn't realize people wanted to do as many diverse roles in the universe as they do, and I think that's completely cool. And we're designing a sandbox anyway, so why not allow all these different roles to be there? And I think that's sort of adding to kind of the way people are sort of viewing this as like a destination to spend a lot of time in, and so it's cool. So I'm actually looking forward to next year more. I mean, this last year was amazing, but next year a lot of the stuff we've been working on and setting up is essentially going to be paying off, and I think everyone's going to be really excited. I mean, I'm very confident that we're going to do something that's pretty amazing, and it's going to be a place I just want to venture around. I'm just really curious to see what everyone's going to do, and yeah, it's going to be awesome. So that's my summation, and I really appreciate, and everyone here on the team completely appreciates your support and dedication and enthusiasm, and we won't let you down. Don't worry about it.
The chat roll indicates
They think you should be off writing a letter right now.
All right. Well, I would like to say thank you to everyone that's been here on the live stream. We'll put up some of these videos on our YouTube channel so you can sort of enjoy them. And I guess I've got a $32 million thank you letter to finish up. And thank you for all your time and patience and support. And you are the best damn community ever.
Absolutely.